NASA prepared and sent the largest and most complex robot in history to Mars. See how the mission was prepared, what unique experiments the Perseverance rover and its partner, the Ingenuity helicopter, had to conduct, all in this one issue. The Mars 2020 mission, launched from Earth on July 30, 2020, was the most technically challenging mission NASA has ever sent to Mars, and Perseverance was the 9th spacecraft to land on the surface of the Red Planet. The landing lasted 7 minutes. The module of the mission, which contained a rover and a helicopter, entered the planet's atmosphere at about 20,000 kilometers per hour. 4 minutes later, the module released the parachute, dropped the heat shield, and activated the instrument to determine the distance to the planet's surface. In the next step, the 8 rocket engines of the Sky Crane system were launched, which reduced the speed of the module to 3 kilometers per hour. When only a few meters remained to the surface, the Perseverance rover was carefully lowered on nylon cords. After the so-called 7 minutes of terror, the vehicle successfully landed on the surface. It's important to note that all of this happened in automatic mode. Radio signals from Mars reached Earth in just 11 minutes, so it was impossible to control the process manually. When NASA received confirmation of a successful landing, the apparatus had already landed on the surface and made a picture on one of 23 of its cameras. As planned, the Perseverance rover landed near the Izero crater in a region called Isis Plain. It's thought to have been home to a river delta and a lake about 4 billion years ago. Due to this, it's the most interesting to science in terms of finding traces of ancient life on Mars. Perseverance weighs 1,025 kilograms, and NASA spent 7 years and $2 billion to develop it. Despite all of this, it's the fact that it's largely made from spare parts of another planet rover named Curiosity. Perseverance has high expectations in terms of searching for extraterrestrial life forms and conducting one very important experiment for future colonizers. The rover's unique instruments include a laser capable of blasting rocks, microphones and cameras, a powerful drill, a mobile weather station, and the first radar ever sent to the surface of Mars. Unlike past rovers, most Perseverance cameras capture images in color. After landing, 2 hazard cameras captured views from the front and back of the rover, showing one of its wheels in the Martian mud. Using an impact drill and bucket, the rover will collect soil samples, photograph them, and place them in its inner chamber. There they will be stored, sealed in titanium tubes until another robot picks them up for delivery back to Earth. But the most ambitious experiment will be an attempt to extract oxygen from Mars' atmosphere, which is 95% carbon dioxide. A special MOXIE instrument will separate oxygen atoms from existing carbon dioxide molecules. If successful, the scientists will get 2 results at once. First, they will confirm the possibility of using the power of Earth's electrochemistry on another planet, and second, they will prove the possibility of getting oxygen in the right amounts for humans in the future. Perseverance delivered to Mars a specially designed Ingenuity helicopter attached to the probe body. Its mission is reduced to several short flights lasting no more than 3 minutes and at ranges of around 600 meters, with a maximum altitude at no more than 10 meters high. The essence of the project is to make sure that the atmosphere of Mars is suitable for helicopter movement, and if successful, the helicopter will not only help Mars rover with the construction of the route, but also help NASA engineers with the construction of a more advanced helicopter to explore Mars for future missions. And if the helicopter only manages to take off and hover in place, the mission will be considered at least a 90% success. In the coming days, engineers will study the rover system data, update its software, and begin testing various tools. In the coming weeks, Perseverance will test its robotic arm and make its first short trip. It will take at least 1 to 2 months for the rover to find a flat spot to land Ingenuity, and it will take even longer for the helicopter to finally set off. The primary goal of the Perseverance mission on Mars is astrobiological research, including the search for signs of ancient microbial life. The rover will characterize the planet's geology, past climate, and will be the first mission to collect and harbor Martian rocks and regolith, paving the way for human exploration of the Red Planet. Subsequent missions by NASA in cooperation with the European Space Agency will send spacecraft to Mars to collect these samples from the surface and return them to Earth for in-depth analysis. Interestingly enough, in July of 2020, 3 countries at one time sent interplanetary space probes to Mars. In addition to the Americans, the UAE and China did so as well. However, unlike the US, the UAE and Chinese missions are aimed at working on the orbit of the Red Planet, although China's Tianwen-1 will also try to land on Mars this spring. The UAE's Martian mission involves the HOPE satellite, the Al-Amal HOPE. It was the first of 3 probes to orbit the planet on February 9, 2021. The satellite will spend 2 years testing at various altitudes. Its goal is to provide the world's scientific community with the first complete description of the Martian atmosphere. On February 10, 2021, the Chinese device Tianwen-1 will also study the Martian atmosphere entered into orbit on Mars. Just 3 months later, it will have to land on the surface of Mars and thus becoming the first Chinese rover in history to land on Mars. Like the US, Perseverance, the Chinese probe will search for signs of life and the water it needs beneath the planet's surface. China's ambitious plans raise concerns in expert circles about the new space race, in which China could become the main competitor for the space powers. First of all, for the US and Europe, which are cooperating under the new Artemis lunar program, which provides for the placement of bases on the lunar surface and in its orbit. Stay up to date on space missions and high-tech technologies. Subscribe to the PRO Robots channel, like this video, and don't miss any new episodes. We'll see you on the next one.